Hi, this is Dr. Thomas Rocco from CBD Health Podcast. Today's guest is Leo Mendez. He's from Imbucanna, Imbucanna.com. He's a pharmaceutical manufacturing company. Today, he's going to talk about solid dose contract manufacturing for CBD, which I think is going to be very important in the future, especially if CBD is written as a prescription by a doctor to get CBD placed in a solid form in a pharmacy. So please listen. You're going to learn a lot. I did today. Leo, thank you for spending some time with me on CBD Health Podcast.
Hey, how are
Hi,
you?
Leo. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thanks for coming on and talking with me about your, I guess, your company. I'm trying to. I did a little research and trying to figure out
All
a
right.
little about it's Imbucanna. Am I saying you're right? Imbucanna?
Yes, in Buchanan.
Imbucanna.com is your
Ye-
website. But
Yes, sir. That's it.
it seems like you're more about helping contract out product for companies. Is that correct, or am I wrong about that?
Yes, that's correct. So what we're doing is I own a pharmaceutical company down in Florida, and we do mostly formulations down there, RX formulations. And so a few years ago, we started to receive a lot of calls from customers trying to make solid dose products from CBD, which is, your standard medication dose. But there's a lot of issues with formulating an oil or an isolate into a solid dose form
And when you're
where you're
saying
gonna,
solid dose form, is that like because I saw some of your products, does that mean you're talking about like a mint or a capsule? Like when you
yes, I'm
like
sorry.
that's okay. Like so you're trying to, because looking at some of the products I've seen, like when you talk about a
Mhm.
capsule, it's not
Yeah,
like a CBD it's not a solid form. It's something in a capsule that then gets into your intestine and then dissolves. But like you said, like I've never really seen a solid form product when it comes to
right.
CBD.
Yeah, and that's something that we were wondering ourselves, how come this, when you take out injectables, for example, out of NDAs, you see that 80% of the products aside from injectables are solid dose products.
Mhm.
And what I mean solid dose, we're talking about, regular tablets, chewables, we're
Right.
talking about sublinguals,
Mhm.
effervescent tablets,
Right.
even functional powders and so forth. And when we started to receive these inquiries as to make these products for folks out there, for brand companies, really, what we received from them was really Frankenstein looking kind of tablets, where one tablet has 2 milligrams of CBD, another one has 60 milligrams. It's very blotchy kind of products, because the formulation, again, to turn oil into a tablet, is not a direct kind of formulation thing. We just put the oil into some filler and you compress, because that oil is going to separate, it's going to oxidize, it's going to do a bunch of things on its own.
Right.
And so what I decided was, first and foremost, we created a intermediate directly compressible CBD, which is 75% at a minimum concentrated. And so we filed a patent on that, which is converting all
Wow.
the cannabinoid isolates
Mhm.
into a highly concentrated powder. And so what happens is that removes all the processes for manufacturers to get that intermediate product. And also, having a directly compressible 75% intermediate that is excellent flow, can really open up the doors to a lot of small companies. They can just purchase, a small, even a one tablet press machine,
Mhm.
and put in their own fillers to that and control the dose and make their own products, which is something that they really couldn't have been done before.
Right. You're making
Um,
people independent.
exactly. And that was really my, because I mean, most of the customers, clients that we have come across, are very small companies. And for them, it's impossible to nearly, to do these formulations, at their small plant.
Right.
Or even with the techniques, like I said, it's not that easy to convert, those substances into compressible form. And so what we decided, like I said, we brought in pharmaceutical, formulations into this, more advanced techniques, and focused ourselves into creating just solid dose versions of tinctures, of gummies, and all the products that are currently out there, of course, at the moment, which includes capsules. Um, I know when we first started, for example, we looked at all the clinical trials that were going on with CBD. And this was maybe 3-4 years ago. And all the trials were with tinctures, isolate by itself. And there were really no clinical trials with any solid dose, which to me was pretty mind blowing. I'm sure also to you.
Right. To me too. Like, this is really, like you said, to me, I'm used to capsules. And again, if it's not in a capsule, it's not going to work because your stomach acid's going to break it down. It's not going to work as well. And then there's oils and topicals, but a solid form. And, looking at the things you offer, I've never heard of people having mints, like, because that's a solid form.
Right.
And it also sounds like the way you're doing it, your product is going to be very good in terms of getting the right dose every time, the consistency of your product, which is really important as well. Getting the dose, but getting it every single time.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the main point, really, of solid dose. They're very easy to administer. They have precise dosing. It's a very convenient way for patients to take their medication. It's a very familiar way to take medication. The bioavailability has been proven to be much better.
Right.
You have great dosage control, consistency, more stability. So these are the reasons why we say, we have to create this in solid dose. So for example, we have a tincture that is 25 milligrams CBD, and it's 1 milliliter dosing.
Right.
And none of that is really precise. And you have to carry around the liquid. There's oxidation that can happen very rapidly if you leave the bottle open. And so these are the things that we eliminate by using solid dose. So we can put in 25 milligrams. As a matter of fact, we just made 25 milligrams of full spectrum with crude oil.
Wow.
So we were able to incorporate that into a chewable tablet, and that's how we're going to move forward in the market with solid dose.
So are you helping out a lot of companies right now with this? This to me is very new. I know it seems like you've been doing this for years. Like, the company started years ago. This is not just something that started this year. Have you been?
So what happened was we started the company in 2019, and that's when we started the patent formulations. We started to look at the oils, see how they behaved, see what could be done with it, their stability, and that's when we started to formulate these products. We went through the patent process, which we're still going through, and then I decided, let's just create the actual products. Let's go to manufacturing.
Right.
It's pretty open as far as the business out there for solid dose, for some odd reason.
Right, it is way open. This is new to me. This first time I've spoken to a lot of people with CBD manufacturing, and this is the first time I've heard this, which is very interesting.
Yeah, so we have let's say, for example, sublingual. Instead of the oil tincture, we just put a tiny little 180 milligram tablet sublingual, and that gets you the milligrams you need.
Right.
And you can carry 60 and 90 count bottle. And so just the convenience alone, we thought was going to be pretty impactful to the industry. And personally speaking, just coming from pharmaceuticals for the past 23 years and seeing the industry, seeing some of how the products are made, the suppliers, I can pretty much guess that this industry is probably going to go into a more pharma GMP sort of industry. And I've been going to NJBizCon for the past few years, and last year we sponsored an event there. And most of the seminars that we went to pretty much all mentioned GMP.
Wow.
And so we saw that this is probably where the industry is going to go. And again, seeing some suppliers and some companies, the way they're doing things, which is very sort of before supplements became a legal thing. So just make it work, really, is their attitude. But there's no real data behind it. There's no real research behind it. And that's what we're trying to correct here.
I mean, your background, first of all, being part of a pharmaceutical group gives you that
Yes.
experience. I even looked, you're also a chemistry major, right? At Florida.
Yes, I'm a chemist.
So this is not
Yep.
something you're doing in your garage. You have some background. Plus, you again doing this solid form. It's not happening overnight. You've been doing this for 4 years, so there's a lot of
Yeah,
of background for doing this correctly. And this is not happening overnight. And you're figuring this out. This is something I think for me as a doctor,
Yep.
I love giving prescriptions that are written out and it's easy for patients to understand. I'll be honest with you. I mean, some of my patients use the CBD tinctures.
Yep.
I'd rather give capsules because you know the dose is getting the specific dose. I'll be honest,
Precisely.
a prescription, like just say I'm writing a prescription for a kid, they like to drink the antibiotics. I hate
Right.
the prescription
Right.
volume because the volume, the concentration.
Exactly.
I just want to give them a pill.
Exactly.
It makes your dose.
Exactly.
I hate to say I'm
exactly.
it seems just more efficient, or maybe I'm just lazy. Both of those things are what I want. For me, it's easier to describe to a patient how to give it to somebody. Anytime it's an oil,
Yes.
it all depends if it's CBD, like what's the concentration? What dose do you need? How many drops?
Exactly.
I would so rather give a solid form.
Yes, of course, at any time. And again, it comes back to really my perplexing nature as to why these products are not in solid dose. It's something very mysterious to me. So I opened up, we have a small plant here that we're just a startup. So it's myself, we have a marketing manager, we have a QC manager here, and then we have a chief quality officer, is a PhD, came from Bristol Myers Squibb. And we have several companies lined up. I think most companies are looking for a chewable tablet or sublingual. The edible tablet, it takes a little longer on the onset, which we can correct, because I said my plan is to bring in some advanced pharma here, so time release products, enteric coated. So some of those pharmaceutical engineering is what we're going to do here mostly.
So you are doing the right thing at the right time.
Thank you.
Because I think in time, I'm hoping it's in our lifetime, and it should be part of a doctor prescribing this, and you're getting it at a pharmacy. And
yes,
they're doing this already in Europe. I've already spoken to people, not only CBD, but actually THC. It's going in that direction. And there has been talk about medical marijuana or marijuana becoming a Schedule III drug. If that happens, I think it's going to change a lot of things. And then we're not going to buy this at a dispensary. We're gonna get it prescribed medically.
Precisely.
And then we're going to need your solid form to have it stable and in the pharmacy, and you're getting the right dose for what you need. I mean, I think what you're doing is really important for the future of how I think it's going to become.
Yeah, thanks again. That was exactly what I saw in the market when we started getting out there and seeing and trying to explain to ourselves why is no one taking this dosage that actually works.
Right.
And not only that, but you understand we're doing GMP work here. So, we test all our raw materials when they come in here.
Right.
We test all our actives when they come in here. We then retest after we do the mixing and granulations that we need to do before it goes into compression or encapsulation. We retest that product. And then at the end, we issue a C of A from a third party. So, and that all encompasses, again, kind of like the quality of solid dose, which is hard to get on otherwise, unless you're doing OTCs, really. And we're going to look at, we're trying to get some clinical partners to see how we can do bioavailability enhancements, more targeted release, better release rates of the drug, improve the taste, odor masking, and so forth like that, stuff like that. So portability obviously is always very important, patients compliance. And these are all the things that come with solid
Well,
dose.
that comes with regular medications. When you talk about a heart medication,
Exactly.
some you take once a day because it's a longer acting, and the way the bioavailability is, and sometimes you have to take it more often. And those are the things I
Precisely.
think you're going to end up hopefully figuring out to help with people
Yes.
taking it once a day, twice a day. Again, people want to take it less and get the same effect because we all forget to take it. Believe me, it's just
Right.
and that would be, like my son takes ADHD medications, and you don't want to take it late at night because he's up all night. And
Right.
you take it first thing in the morning, you take it early lunch. And it'd be nice if you just did the one in the morning and you were done. If you missed the afternoon one, then you got to deal with them until sleep, because if you take it too late,
Exactly.
they'll be up all night. So that's why,
Right.
like you said, like if you can get a CBD that works longer and people have to take it less often, they would absolutely love that. It'd just be easier.
Yeah, of course. And like I said earlier, we can definitely control the release rates of all this. We can create sustained release, as you just mentioned now, that can work through the entire night.
Right.
Which is something very practical that we do in the pharmaceutical side.
Right.
For our drugs.
Right. You're doing it already.
Right.
So right now,
Yeah.
have you been selling? You haven't been selling this product yet. You're still researching. Is that true? Or do you have companies
So
trying to
what we're
sell
waiting
it?
for right now, we have companies ready to go.
Mhm.
We are just waiting for the certification to be completed with Virginia Department of Agriculture. They need to inspect us, which should happen in the next, I think, maybe 3 weeks.
Good.
We don't anticipate having any issues here because, I brought in full pharmaceutical manufacturing here. Like I said, we have our quality people here, and we're going to produce these products on a pharmaceutical basis.
Right.
Like I said, we're going to test all the raw materials as they come in and so forth. And we're going to treat this really as a pharmaceutical product.
Right.
Which, again, as we discussed, I
Right.
believe that this is where the industry is going to go.
This is where it's going. I'm telling you, this is where it's going. It's
Yeah.
slow steps too, but that's where it's going. So obviously,
Right.
you're a company that's making a product for companies to then sell it. You will not sell it. You're making.
Yeah, we're only doing contract manufacturing. So
Right.
for example, there's a lot of vertical integrated companies out there. But again, to make solid dose, the equipment that's needed, the techniques, the formulation techniques, and of course, the setting up of the entire GMP program.
Right.
It's not really for everyone because most companies have to meet CFR Part 117, which is the food regulations. And we have to meet Part 111 and 117, 111 being the dietary supplements part of it. But again, we're going to do even more than that.
Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy.
Nothing is easy, but we're ready. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 23 years.
Right.
I worked at BASF, at Human Nutrition, formulating a lot of fat products that we turned into powders, vitamin C, on the Krystle side. We made directly compressible powder with that. So that's what I'm bringing in.
Right. No, this is exciting, actually. So right now, like, who would you want to contact you? Would you want companies that are looking to sell this, or do you want investors to call you? I mean, right now, you invest in this because this is something that can go big. Believe me, I truly believe this.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So again, right now we are a startup. We raised about $600,000 to get going here. We're gonna launch the company officially at MJ BizCon on November 28th. We have a corner booth there. Our customers primarily are brand companies, either, again, vertical integrated. So they take their oil, they process it, and they make their tinctures, their gummies with it. So they would send us their oil, and we would return to them solid dose products.
Wow.
So contract manufacturing. So everyone will have their own solid dose with their own oil in it.
Oh, I get it. I totally get it now. I understand.
Yeah. And of course, for those who don't have access to oil, we have 3 qualified suppliers now of oil here in Virginia that we can use. But of course, preferably you want to use their own oil.
Right.
To make these products. So that's our approach to this.
That's really interesting. I thought you were going to make your own, which you said you can. But so a company's going to call you and say, listen, I want to get this solid form. I'm going to ship what I need. And then,
Yep.
so just say I have a company, which I don't, and I'm sending you the oil.
Yeah.
When you make into solid form, are you testing for them again? You're going to do that testing for them, or you just assume the testing's done already from that company in terms of like
So
third party testing?
so from a GMP standpoint,
Mhm.
we're going to test all raw materials that come in here,
Right.
regardless
Right.
if someone sends it to us
Mhm.
or
Gotcha.
we purchase it. Either way, anything that comes in the house
Mhm.
here is going to be quarantined immediately. And then our QC is going to test for the potency, identity of the raw material before it gets accepted in here.
Right.
So we'll have all those processes in place.
Yeah. This is really, this is again, really, I didn't realize it was done that way. So all
Yeah,
companies can
that's the
reach out to
plan.
you, right? That's,
Yeah, so all brand companies can reach out to us.
yeah,
Whoever's producing oil or even
Mhm.
has their own brand, doesn't have an oil, but has, CBD products in the market. We can add to that portfolio chewables,
Right,
pills, regular tablets, and shouldn't really call them pills
right,
anymore. Sublinguals. So
right,
anything that they need.
right,
We can take their oil and see what we can make from it. Usually, some of the oils that I've seen are maybe 75%, 80% CBD. So
right,
we can definitely produce any sort of CBD products with them in solid dose form.
right. And then in time, you might be able to perfect longer acting. You could take their product and make it a longer acting product for them if they needed to, if it's something down the road.
Yeah, if they believe, and this will come out through most of our R&D once
Mhm.
we start doing the because we can make the products, we just have to go through the R&D of it,
Mhm.
make sure that it's getting into the bloodstream, and for
Right,
this, I think we're going to need some partners, some clinical partners.
sure,
Um, but yes, we plan to make enteric coated time release
right,
products and
right,
see how they're gonna function. Again, this is all new.
right,
There's really no data out there, so we're gonna try to produce that data in the market. So we're gonna look at flow mechanics of
right,
things.
yeah,
We're gonna look at particle sizes, see what works best together, see what's gonna release the faster, see what's gonna get absorbed, and that's generally the long view, the long
right,
view of the company.
right,
But for now, we are starting off with converting all these products for
right,
customers into solid dose tinctures. We'll take the tincture, we'll
right.
convert that into solid dose.
Right, it's so
Um,
interesting. This is interesting because I have written down here solid dose contract manufacturing. I read it through, looking, just researching. I had no
yeah,
clue what that meant.
yeah, that's what it
No
means.
clue.
That's
I
what it
know.
means. Yeah,
No
so
idea.
we'll be
Now
the
you
we'll
taught me
basically
something.
third party. We'll be third
Right.
party manufacturers. Except, a lot of people they get their oil and they send it off to a gummy producer.
Mhm.
And then they give them back gummies. Well, we'll do the same. We'll give them back solid dose,
So,
except it'll be, maybe half price, because the cost effectiveness of solid dose is much more impactful because,
is that right?
we can produce 30,000 pills an hour,
Wow.
as opposed to gummies. And so that time alone savings is going to save the customer in the long run, because these
Right.
are the least expensive solid form that you can use as far as medication. When pharma produces a new molecule, the first thing they want to do is can this go into a solid dose?
Right.
Because they're very inexpensive and you
Right.
can produce a lot in a very small amount of time. So that's
That,
another reason for solid dose.
absolutely. And that's part of the
Yeah,
problem with my patients using it. It gets cost
right,
problems. It
right,
gets expensive and it works. And I said, this is how, when you look at how CBD is made and the time it consumes to make it and harvest and everything else that goes into it, there's a reason why it's expensive. But any cost reduction would help all these customers and patients,
exactly,
especially when insurances aren't covering it. Now,
precisely.
when that changes, when the insurance, that's when you're going to come into, I think, major play in
Yeah.
doing this. I mean, it's going to be like, you're going to start providing for pharmacies and
Yeah,
having
we hope so. I mean,
direct,
we hope we can take this time now until that
right,
happens.
right. You
To
have the
get
framework
everything
for it. You're getting the framework.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think
So
this is really exciting about your company.
oh, thanks.
So I think it's going to eventually happen. That's my gut feeling. And here,
Yeah, we've had, every customer we speak to is for some odd reason almost taken aback when I say solid dose, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like it never went into their head.
Right.
And then as soon as it goes into their head, it's immediate. We need this product now
Right.
because it just it just makes so much sense. Just
It
the other
does.
day, we got one that it was we had a sample from one of our customers that it was a strip,
Right.
and it was tasted so bad, and the mouthfeel was so horrible, and just I can't really see a patient being compliant with that for
Right.
so long.
Right.
Um,
Right. It's true.
and yeah, and this was kind of really, I think, what they consider kind of advanced formulations for them.
Mhm.
And so, it was almost like we got to step back a little bit, actually, and
Right.
create better product. So those are the things that we're encountering,
Right.
and
Right.
we've tested a lot of product, and most of it is off. It's
Mhm.
label claims are hard to meet on tinctures and things like that,
Right.
and gummies. There's a lot of water in gummies,
Mhm.
so that can contribute to contamination,
Mhm.
bacterial growth, which is something that you don't get with solid dose.
Right.
It's just a dry product.
The dry product is clean. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love your idea. So if anybody
Oh,
needs
thank
to
you.
get in touch with you, it's imbucanna.com or Imbucanna
Yes.
Pharmaceutical Manufacturing. And you're
Yeah, or they
advertising
can
it.
email me directly also at leo@imbucanna.com or info@imbucanna.com, and
Yeah.
we'll get it here.
So, any companies that are looking to use solid form, they contact you. But I think your future is there's no ceiling right now. I think you have a lot of good ideas, and I think it's going to go this way eventually with pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
And I am hoping that doctors are prescribing this, insurance companies are covering it. And if you can
That's the main goal.
show that this is not expensive, I think pharmaceuticals, it'll get into the pharma. Again, it's always everything's about cost.
Yes, of course. And also, one of the big pitfalls, I think, for companies, because contract manufacturers out there plenty, um, but they're making vitamins or they're making drugs, and they can make these products, but they don't really want to because they don't want some regulatory situation to happen and then shut down their entire
Right.
product lines. And that was something that I thought about deeply. And I said, let's just do hemp CBD products. Let's not do anything else. Let's not risk any other products. Let's just give them what we're here for.
Right. Right.
Just straight. So that's why I came up with Imbucanna and just focus on these products exclusively.
And again, this is not an overnight thing. You've been doing it for 4 years. You have the background chemistry and your education at Florida State. I mean, so this is
Yep.
you're not doing
Yeah,
this
and
out of your,
from there,
yeah.
yeah, from there, I worked at Swiss Caps, which was it's a soft gel company, which got my hands dirty with some oil there. Then I went to BASF. I was a human nutrition director there for all the vitamins, all the vitamin C, E, D, K. So what we did there was we incorporated some of the excipients or the active ingredients that were used in pharma, and we started to incorporate those into the supplement side of the business. And I think if you look at some supplements, you'll see some cross-povidones and stuff in there that wasn't there before. And that's where all that came from. And then from there, I went to DFE Pharma, which was a lactose company. And then I did work on there with lactose, compressibility studies and all that kind of stuff until, I formed an Active Ingredients, which is my pharmaceutical company down in Florida, which we distribute excipients, and active ingredients, and then we do the formulations for it.
So you have the experience. That's the key.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 23 years now.
You're not doing
Yeah.
this you're not doing this out of your garage. This is
No, we're not in a garage. We are definitely well-built,
right.
small. We're small, of course. I said we're startup, but we don't, we have wet granulations here. We have an encapsulation machine. We have compression. We have V blenders. Pretty much we high shear mixers. So we have everything here that we need, and we've already run several batches through for validations. And we're looking pretty good. We just made one now with crude oil. It's pretty amazing that we can get the taste, pretty good. It melts pretty nice in the mouth, and again, really inexplicable as to why these things are not in the market.
Right,
So,
exactly.
you know, our next step here is to get the certification. We've gone through many other buildings and everything certified already. You know, the inspector promises she'll be here in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Good.
So hopefully, I don't expect we're going to have any issues.
Right,
Probably
right.
have 200 SOPs here.
Mhm.
Everything here is super clean, you know,
Right, yeah,
no
you're ready.
VOCs. It's pretty much 8 surgery rooms we have back here.
Right.
So our customers love it,
You're right.
and they're really pumped to get
Good.
product out.
This
And so
really,
that's what we're working on.
this is really exciting. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about, but this is super exciting.
Oh yeah, thank
Definitely
you.
I'm definitely going to follow closely because like I said, this is the way it's going to end up going. You know?
Yeah, I believe so. You know, I have a lot of faith, you know, that this is the way to go. Again, I was surprised why it's not out there already. And so we want to really the forefront. I mean, I know that we're going to probably grow pretty fast here. There's nobody here in Virginia doing what we're doing. And of course, nationwide, when we've gone to NJ BizCon, it's been 100% positive.
Great.
Kind of ready to go customers.
Good.
So we're probably gonna have to be raising some money at the end of the year.
Yeah, right.
To get the volumes going. But I think we'll be able to manage. I'm sure we'll meet some good people at MJ BizCon that will help us.
Yeah, no kidding.
Get there.
They should be excited about this. I mean, I honestly,
yes.
if anything, they should listen to this, what we talked about. It would really clarify what you really do. At least it did for me, because like I said, I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about. Like I
Right.
research, and you did describe what the solid dose market is. It's important for something like
Absolutely.
this, you know? So this is
Absolutely.
this is great. All right, well, Leo, I got to go back to work.
All right, sir. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate your time, and you really taught me a lot. And I'm going to send you the link to the podcast and the video this week.
Awesome.
And I'm really excited about this. I think you got a great company and a great framework. This is going to work out great.
I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Keep in touch, okay, Leo?
Will do.
All right, nice talking to you. Take care.
Likewise.
Bye.
Bye-bye.